Hello, welcome to another episode of AI Ranch, where we talk AI. Today I have my guest Dāvis Ziediņš, who is the market disruptor, growth hacker, who made his name in the finance industry by crafting bold campaigns in untapped markets. He is also a wild and fun-loving guy, yes, who spent over 6 years of helping to build Beetroot Labs, which is one of the top gaming industries in the Baltics, and the gaming studio that raised over 10 million of investment. And specifically, he worked on their top game Dystopia, which he teamed up with UFC fighter Conor McGregor. In recent years, Dāvis has made also the bold moves stepping into one of the fastest growing industries here in Baltics, which is the forest management. He's a true innovator because he is using actual AI analytics and AI tools in his business in forestry management. And recently, he is doing the new venture in the financial, the debito. Welcome.
Hey, Evalds, thank you for having me.
Let's start by jumping into this part of forestry and AI, which at least here in Baltics doesn't always come together. So how did you decide to start adopting AI software in your company?
Yeah, so basically, the Bono group already had the first, I would say, intro with AI even before I joined. And I think we were the first ones, but it was years ago when we started to use computer vision solutions. Basically, the first solution was just to check how much wood as a material do you have. So basically, if you cut the wood, pile them into piles, and so you don't have to measure the length and diameter. You want to count the forest. So you have an app on your phone. You check, just turn your phone on. It shows how much exactly wood there is.
Is somebody still going with the ruler?
Definitely, yeah, definitely, and
Seriously?
and yeah. So when we implemented this, I know years ago before I joined the company, this daily tool which everyone works. And then the next step was when I joined the company, we want to test the concept to build a dedicated sales team who would only work on phone calls. And this team proved that the concept works. It's easier if there are people who just make the calls, and there are people who are actually meeting with clients and doing the rest of the business. And at some point when the team started to grow, we understood that there are a lot of time is being not wasted, spent on analyzing the best sales tactics, analyzing what worked best, what not. And let's take an example. You're a call center operator. You make 50 calls per day. Some calls started without they didn't start promising. In the end of the day, it turned out to be a deal. And if you have a sales meeting in a team once a week, and your head of sales asks, okay, how did you manage to convince the person? Who remembers? Who knows? So basically now the call center operators just make the calls, then they can analyze between themselves. The director can analyze what worked, what argument didn't work. As soon as new people join the team, they can already sort out and check the best practices, what arguments worked against each counter argument and stuff like that. So basically, as soon as the tool was implemented, we saw that everyone loves to use it. They share those sales arguments between themselves, and basically it helps even the team grow itself without any impact from the management.
Well, that's not nice to hear. What do you think, like how close we are of doing these sales calls by robots?
Don't know yet. So the thing is about adapting those tools, and so people want those tools just to give those tasks away. Just you're a robot, you do it. I don't know, LinkedIn outreach, email outreach. So yeah. So for me, for example, let's say I'm a consumer, someone wants to sell me his software as a service or whatever. Like, I would be happy to see, like, if it works good, if you train it good, set it up good, I will never know it's a robot. That's first thing. The second thing is, like, if you receive, I don't know, any message which starts, we are thrilled to announce, like, kill me, like, invest your time, make it look like a real person. I would love to buy your service because I want to work with people, with companies who, if they're a specialist, they're focusing on building something, not just copying some text and from sheet to the LinkedIn and just manually sending out the emails or LinkedIn messages. So basically, just automate it as fast as you can. Focus on your core priorities, and then yeah.
Well, it's interesting to hear from you as you would describe yourself a little bit of growth hacker as well, right? So
you said that.
Right. So in that sense, I would assume that somebody in your position would welcome, let's say, the some screening of the leads with AI or something like that, right? But you still say that if somebody invests time and you feel the effort, then it's
No, you need to invest time when you set up the robot. So you need to invest time there so it looks like actual person. Because if you just quickly, write one pitch and said, hey, send it to everyone and just, enroll in some kind of sales sequence, then outcome is, it looks, not convincing. But I endorse companies to do it, and I hope like in 1 year from now if someone from Asia will send me a message, I'll have no clue is it a real person or it's a AI sales assistant.
Yeah, we are onto that. We're already actually doing some of that, and robocalls also coming, but still, like, do you see like there is a place with a robot and a human, or do you think the whole cycle can be automated?
I'm all about A/B tests. Let's make them compete, and let's see how it works. Because for now, personal touch is always better. Let's see.
Yeah, I like your attitude. Like that's the right one. We need to see the data. How you are using AI in your daily work?
I could use it more, but basically, I'm looking from the perspective. I'm trying to save as much time with some manual tasks as possible by letting them for AI to do. That's one thing. Doing some analysis, summarizing stuff, pulling together data, and then just pushing out in the form where I can use it. I'm using AI as a FAQ for myself. So basically, there's one company, Debitum at this point, where I'm focusing all my energy. So I'm just teaching it full of information about the product, so it's easier for me down the road. So new person comes to the company, hey, how do you do this and that? Take my butt, type it in your question, you're gonna get answer out from what I've taught him.
So you cloned yourself with
exactly.
And somebody needs a question. First, talk to my
talk to my assistant. Yeah.
and then if it doesn't work, then come to me, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Actually, not bad. I think not too easy, not too hard to actually set it up, right?
It's not too hard to set it up, and basically, for example, if I receive some question from investor, something tricky, something what I've never thought about, something what we don't have in FAQ in our website, I answered him an email. When it's sorted, I just copy, hey, save this for later. I might come back with a similar question in the future. That's it. So basically, store all the information in one place.
Good. But instead, like in general, when you see these different industries that you've been a part of, like finance, gaming, forestry, what is the adoption rate?
Hard to say. Let's start with forestry. So in forestry, I've seen plenty of examples, locally and globally. The first, which you already mentioned, is computer vision, which is pretty basic. So if you want to count something and calculate the volume of the wood, so here I have a solution. Second is I spoke a couple of years ago with Latvian company ZP Vision, or the product was called ZP Vision. Yeah, so basically they implemented. They had a hardware with a software which they sold to the sawmills. So basically, you put in a sawmill, use it for quality assurance. All the logs are coming down the production line. It already sorts out which is good, which is bad. The ones which proceed to the sawing, so it makes a 3D model, indicates where at what part of the material there is, I don't know, some quality problem or something. They cut this part off, and they know what they need to saw, what kind of materials do they need to sell. And they basically calculate how we can cut this one piece of wood into like as effective way as possible and to reduce the waste. So that's about forestry. About finance, I've seen companies using for AI tools for credit scoring, for I don't know, investor behavior or customer behavior analysis. If something goes off from your usual behavior, then flags a flag for, I don't know, compliance team, for example. But in finance, I have this gut feeling that industry is a bit afraid because there's a lot of sensitive data. They just don't want to share it if they don't know where the data goes, and then this is something what we need to speak about, and then that in which tools data is safe and where it's not safe, where you put in sensitive information, where you cannot do it. So I see a lot of adoption coming there soon. About gaming, to be honest, I quit gaming 3 years ago, and I think this bull run of AI started a bit later, but I assume it just makes game developers and artists more productive. So I believe it was you who said on one of the podcasts with Armand Brooks, I believe, that AI, it's a multiplier of your knowledge. So basically, without knowledge, it's useful. So the same goes for gaming. I remember like OpenAI launched the products, and everyone for 1 week was like, okay, artists, they're gonna instinct, like there's no more artists gonna be left. And so basically, and we did a test in the office. So, okay, we need to come up with a concept, for example, for, I don't know, some kind of marketing material or character or what else not. So me, who is not artist at all, zero creativity, I write down like text to image, for example, write down what I want to make. I press enter, complete crap comes out. And then artist who has a lot of technical knowledge, who has a lot of knowledge in the arts, he defines prompt, press enter, and there's an art. So basically, it just helps them to come up with solutions, with concepts way more faster.
Do you think you would not be able to learn how to write this prompt properly?
I have to understand arts, design, so I can define it. Then I would be able. Those guys know it all. So it's not that everyone's going to become artists, but the artist is going to become more productive. That's what I believe.
Or you might not even need the same skills.
Let's see.
Right. I like well, let's see, measure, and then we know. That's not bad attitude. So you mentioned games, and as we did an intro, you have this awesome game. Was it Dystopia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dystopia.
So and you worked with Conor McGregor. So I think not many people worked with him. What was it like? Do you recall it?
Yeah, I recall it very well. That was incredible experience for whole team, and that was like, I believe no one in Latvian Baltics has ever landed some celebrity or influencer with such scale, magnitude, and that was of course interesting way to work, interesting thing to work with, like from every aspect, legal aspect, production aspect, dealing aspect, like everywhere. So everyone learned a lot.
Is he as crazy as he tends to show?
No, so he is a very decent guy. He's a businessman, and at that point, he was focusing very much on all his business ventures. And in the year when we signed the deal, he was the highest paid athlete in the world. And there's also our contribution to that. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. And
what was he doing in the game? What kind of character was he?
He was playable character. And playable character, and then we put a design how he looks. We branded him with his all tattoos? His tattoos, of course, tattoos. Yeah, but the clothing were also branded with his clothing brand August McGregor, and it was interesting. And then the most, I would say, the challenging part was like we want him to feel authentic. So we watched all the possible interviews, videos. We had a collection of the phrases he has used in public, phrases he is famous for. And then we basically sent him the Google Sheet. So please buy a microphone. Here's a Google Sheet with phrases. Send us please voiceover so we can implement in the game.
He actually did this? Yeah.
He did it, yeah. It was a great experience.
So it's actually a real
real voice, yeah, real voice.
Right. Okay, that's cool. How did you get to him? Like, what was the process?
Crazy story.
How long it took?
It took from A to Z. It took long. So basically, when we were developing the game, since the game was playable and we could release it, every decision the game was made on the real data. So basically, as soon as it wasn't breaking down, we were buying some players, like running some user acquisition, getting players in from different kind of markets, testing the product. And once we had enough data about who are those people who play the most, who would be willing to spend the most money inside the game, so we pulled the data out. Based on them, we're looking like who is this celebrity whose audience match our audience.
Oh,
And
so this was not random.
this was no, this was not random. It was and we after we checked the data, it was Conor McGregor. It was clear for us who we are going after. And there's a question: how do we do it? And did some googling. No ChatGPT.
Did you went to UFC?
I went to the UFC.
You went to the actual fight?
I went to actual fight also. Yeah.
Where was it?
In Vegas.
Oh,
yeah, and so basically
one of the best places.
that is the best place for the fight. Yeah, and so basically we found out, okay, we would love to work with him. It was good that gaming wasn't something what they don't know. They already had some appearance in Call of Duty. So basically searched who is his agent, who is responsible for the business inquiries, found the person on LinkedIn. And then when you cannot send direct message if it's switched off. You can send this invite with, I know, 140 symbols or something like that. I was for 1 week sitting and trying to put my thoughts inside 140 symbols and send the message. Pretty quickly received back, yeah, we love the idea. Can we meet? And the team is based in LA, and just two couple of my colleagues who jump on the plane. We flew there, and they're like, guys, you actually arrived from Latvia? So, but the process wasn't...
What do you think what was important step if you would not arrive in person, it would not go through?
Because I believe that people like those, they receive inquiries about some kind of cooperations very often. And if you show up, it shows that you're serious about it. And then as always, like, I hate COVID when it kicked in and all the world moved to like remote meetings and then pitching stuff remote. You can never feel the person, like what's he's actually feeling, what's his body language and stuff like that. So as much as possible, I love to meet with people in person. If not, then okay, then it's video call. But so you go there, openly like discuss what's good, what's not, and then yeah.
Did anything funny happen in that experience?
A lot of fun stuff happened in gaming, and especially in this project in Dystopia with Conor. Yeah, so for example, one interesting thing was that we launched the game actually a couple of days before we were supposed to launch, because Conor himself and the team, they were excited about the game, about the launch, and they mentioned we sent him a couple of voiceovers for the game. There were also a couple of voiceovers for ads, which we were producing in Riga, like 3D animated ads. Then one evening, couple of days before the launch, we sent again the document. Like as always, all documents will form some images, good looking docs, and hey, can you please, like, again, read those out loud in the microphone? And what happened? One evening, there's suddenly Instagram post on Conor's page, holding the script in his hand, saying, hey guys, Dystopia coming soon. And what's happening? Users start to drop in, and then start to drop in, and we were not ready. We were counting on another day.
So you released your game before.
And the idea was that the backend infrastructure, the server side, was like it's expensive. When a lot of users come in, it's expensive. And we were like keeping the costs low for as long as possible. We were like, before the launch, we want to increase it. But so basically, we didn't increase it yet. This thing happened, so we are sitting in office. Everyone's like, "Okay, guys, we did it. Let's cheers. Let's pull some champagne out." And then there are backend guys who are guys like, "What are you so happy about? Like, all my buckets are full here. I don't know what to do." But we managed. It didn't crash, and then it was
Wow, that's great. But this just points to this, back to this growth hacking. So I hear from you in regards to AI, in regards to sales, in regards to marketing. You always come back to data, basically. So it feels that you're not doing decisions like just based on guts,
no,
right?
So I believe you need to make educated guesses. You have to test, you have to gamble sometimes, but make the guess as educated as possible. So, or even if you're gonna test something, put down some KPIs or something what you want to achieve from the test, because as soon as you feel something is off, stop spending money, switch it off, and then yeah. So
do you see some like what are the basic growth tactics which are missing in apps and services nowadays? What
I
are
don't
they
know if
doing
I don't know
wrong?
if you can call them growth tactics, but there are a few principles I follow. The first is don't bring opinion to data fight. If you have some data, some soft launch data, some test traffic in, just check how it works. And second thing is ask your customer. If you have customers, ask, and that's what happened here with Debitum. We had such a huge growth last year. Simply what I did when I joined, the first order of business was let's send out a survey. Let's ask them what's missing here, like why the platform is 5 years old and there are like not so great results as everyone expects.
It was already 5 years old?
Debitum was established back in 2019, and 1.5 years ago, my let's call friends, guys I know for a long time, they acquired the platform. So new owners came in, and it actually started for me as a 1-month gig, like just come in, advise us a bit the transition period and everything, and now I'm here already more than a year. And so, and the first order of business was, okay, let's understand like our investors. Let's ask them like what kind of how long investment product should we launch? Do people like to invest for 3, 6, 12, 18 months? It's not up to us. Let's ask them what they prefer. They want higher interest rates, which mean longer investment, or shorter investment with lower interest rates. Data comes back, we adjust the product, bam, growth. And then you just always, if you have the chance, you have to listen to your customers, and they will tell you what do they want actually.
So you need to significant amount of responses, right? So you like somebody tells you one thing, other one tells other thing. Like
Yeah. So in this case, the more data, the better. So the platform like
not that easy to do when you have something new, right? But they already had some base, right?
Yeah. We had some base, and then it was enough. So the platform is still growing. So actually today we reached 20,000 investors on Debitum, and basically it's enough to understand. Like the sentiment, what they like, what they don't like, and then they give us enough data to continue growing yet, improving the product.
Which is the hardest industry to work with?
From my experience, gaming is by far the most hardest if you compare to forestry or to fintech, because gaming is people look at the gaming is just a way how to entertain. It just has to look good. Game is the design, the art side, I would say, is the last thing why people play games. So basically it's economy. You have to build economy. It's psychology. So how game is becoming your habit, how to make people addicted to it. Chemistry, what actions like splashes dopamine and serotonin in your brain. So basically all this combined, and then you put a nice design on it. And that's because the product is okay, it's complicated, the market is oversaturated, there are more and more gaming companies, people start...
How much of the revenue in the App Store is games? Like it's over 50%, right?
It's over 50%. It's over 50% like in this App Store, like competition there. And then...
So it's just like for the listeners to understand, like I don't know, like the exact number, but basically it should be somewhere between 80 and 50%. So basically imagine all of the apps on the App Store, like most of the money goes to the games.
And people start play games more and more. They spend more time in the games. There are more and more games being published. They spend more money in the games, and the market is getting more and more oversaturated, competitive, and it's hard to succeed there. And then that's one thing. Second thing is user acquisition. So basically, you have a game, great. How do you get users in? You have to buy ads. You buy ads on the same place where everyone else buy ads. So I don't have to compete. If I'm a gaming company, I don't have to compete with Supercell, Rovio, or else. Not I have to compete with Coca-Cola, with Volvo, BMW, with everyone else, because you are fighting for the ad inventory on Facebook, for example, and then that's it. It's not just you're competing against other companies. And
yeah, but you succeeded. You did what others could not do. So that's a great success. So, but how do you motivate your teams to keep going?
So this is also again very interesting topic, and so I believe team needs to have some kind of sense of ownership in the thing which they are doing, in the product which they are building. They need to clearly understand at all times how their daily job is contributing to the success of the company. So for example, investments, we as a company, we want to earn money from the commissions. Okay, how do we get the money in? So do we have a marketing team which is bringing in users? So they are, I don't know. All the focus is always on marketing. If something is not working, marketing is marketing's fault. But then again, there's compliance, who is when marketing pulls in the users, they check if they're compliant to invest. So compliance team has to do all the checks. If the marketing campaign is successful, there's a huge flow of new users coming in. Compliance team is under the stress again. They need to know that if they do everything on time and ensures everything is still safe, the company will grow. The same for customer support. As soon as there's a big choke, for example, a little bit queue in compliance department, they start to write to support, hey, why is my verification not approved yet? And then so basically everyone understands the huge flow, the huge cycle of the product, and then they understand and they can celebrate the milestones. And that's the second thing is celebrating small and big victories. And basically,
What do you celebrate?
We are a regulated investment platform. We are all announced. No, for example, we try to. There are a couple of milestones, and then which we number of users, some investment milestones reached last year. End of last year, we finally hit. There's monetary motivation. This is one thing, and second thing is always just to spreading some recognition along the team, having the team dinner, stuff like basically. Like involving everyone, not only one department, for example, who has contributed to major success, but everyone contributed to this. Let's have bonus is one thing, monetary rewards, but let's have some kind of time off. Let's do some stuff together, because it's important to keep everyone motivated and happy. Because like if you look at yourself and myself, most probably, and everyone else, we are spending more time in office than we spend at home. So you need to create the environment that everyone loves to be there. It has to be fun, making money. You have to like what you do. You have to like people who you work with. I couldn't imagine myself doing something what I don't like or doing it together with somebody I don't like. So it's important to keep all the checks there.
So you work with different generations, different people. Do you see some differences between millennials, Gen Z?
Those are two different species, I would say. It's
what motivates each of them?
What motivates each of them? So we are both millennials, right? And I somehow think that us, our parents, and we had a very long period when we learned what we know. So the education took way longer time than it takes right now. And people our age, they have this sense of ownership somehow towards what do they do for their living. And so basically, myself, I can recall when I started to work in advertising agency, which is my first job, which opened my eyes what the hell is going on in the world, what kind of industries there existed, stuff like that. So basically, I remember the moment when I made a decision to quit the agency and open my own agency in Georgia and Tbilisi. I printed out my letter of resignation. It took me 3 days to go to my boss, look into his eyes, say, hey guys, I'm leaving. I knew that they need me. I knew that we built a lot of stuff together. I knew that I love those guys and those guys love me. It was hard for me. Now, it's easy. I've heard some stories for a person in your department who you don't see on a daily basis. You just see him in camera. He writes a letter of resignation, puts electronic signature on it, sends you in Slack, and bye. And that's it. And then they are moving on to something else. And it's in this case, the biggest difference is that they don't love to be stuck to one product or industry or company for a long time, and they don't need a reason to change something in their life. For example, right now, for a younger generation, it's super easy. For example, you want to be in AI is fresh. You spend 3 years, focus on one thing, you are good at it. Someone who could, spend a year-long course in AI, he could beat my ass most probably. He joins the company, he does his job, he gets salary. In 2 years, there's a new trend, he can just jump from one place to another. Basically, I feel that they love to move around a bit. They don't love to be tied to some place, and this is something what is very different about those two generations. And what we have to do, I believe, is that when you hire a person, you have to invest time, which is money, equals to money. And you invest, for example, half a year, basically it's just a cost. You invest in person, and for example, in 1.5 years, he leaves, and that's not that's not a great feeling. And I think we have to find a way how we can teach them easier, faster, not taking so much time from us. And this is where, as we discussed, my FAQ, my personal debitum FAQ comes in place. So I have all the information somewhere concentrated. You can use it, all my knowledge from here. So basically, I spend as a person less hours teaching that guy, because like if I spend half a year teaching and in 1 year he leaves, this is considered normal now, but it's painful.
Yeah, but I feel you. I have similar experience. Had the do you think like in long run this is an advantage or disadvantage for that generation?
I think it's an advantage for them. They catch up different kind of industries, the same like I did. They can take something from each place and adapt, and then I think it's advantage for them because the world is changing quickly, and they are changing more quickly than you and me are. So
So we need to adapt there to, well, yeah, to succeed. So have you tried some AI agents? Do you believe that AI agents can automate some of the things that you do, except just your clone chatbot, like actually maybe doing some project management, some marketing outreach, or what do you?
yeah, so I believe AI agents are a powerful tool. They can optimize a lot of processes. I hate to say replace, I would say optimize. So basically, you have to know what's happening, be in control. It just has to take all the work out of your hands, of your shoulders. So basically, the thing which I see right now, and I can also say that about myself, do I need some help from AI agents? Yes. If you would ask me, okay, what exactly do you need? I have no clue. I don't know what I don't know. So that's why I've actually met 2 companies. They are consulting businesses, and one company is here in Latvia, one I met in Lithuania. They come to your company. They pull
Map
together
out.
all your employees, accountant, head of manufacturing, I don't know, customer support. Everyone sits in one huge room. They're given A4 paper, pen, write down what do you do, and add how much time does it take. So basically, what's your key responsibilities? What should you do? What no one else can do? This one. Okay, then why do you spend so much hours on this? Because like I don't know, number of incoming invoices is growing by every month because company is growing. So basically, people write down everything what they don't like. And then people with knowledge building those AI agents, they come and say, okay, we can build a solution for you for this. Forget about this. You're not like taking invoices out from your inbox, from your mailbox and putting in some Google Drive folder and received, approved, paid, and blah, 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 blah. Here's a bot, which it's going to require like minimum info from yourself, and that's it. Like accountant cannot come up with this idea that he needs this kind of help. So you need basically people to be super honest about where they're spending their time. And then you need smarter people who come and say, hey guys, we can optimize this, and that.
Yeah, I think like you said that you go from the perspective of not where you save the most money or make the most money, but where the people don't like to do something, right?
No, so basically,
Because I believe, so I have seen some of these things, especially in larger organizations. When you start deploying AI, there is definitely resistance to this, especially if the people start to see that some of the jobs that maybe they like, but which are actually financially feasible to replace, so that gets replaced. But if you go from the other perspective, what you just said, start replacing jobs which they hate, maybe it's easier, right?
it's easier, yeah. So like people, I would say, if you're a specialist in some field, you need some time to think. So there are a lot of daily tasks, even for myself. So basically, middle of the day, I'm dealing with stuff oh, there's always something urgent, something is missing, doing something, and then after 6 p.m. everyone goes home. I can sit and I can think. So basically, if you can find a way how not to do this manual job, which gives you like there's nothing creative there, it just has to be done. If this thing can be taken off your shoulders, you actually have more time to do some meaningful stuff. And yeah, of course, some jobs, something very manual will be replaced, but like in a big picture, it's just one person is gonna be able to do more. And this is one more thing which I encountered recently. When person comes to an interview, into your company and you ask them question, do you use AI tools? They are like, and I see that they are thinking whether to tell the truth or not. And
nowadays you don't know the right answer.
yeah. So basically,
really good.
If I hire someone says no and he has no clue how to do it, I check down. Okay, we need some basic AI training because I don't want to hire person who is gonna sit and do a lot of manual jobs. So I need someone.
But you would hire somebody who don't know how to use
I would, and then I would just spend some resources teaching him. But basically, I expect people to get familiar with AI to save their own time and to be more productive. Like one person, I don't know. Let's take.
So if somebody wants to get a job with you, they should learn AI.
Yeah, but can we come in your AI certificate? Yeah.
Yeah, but
so
remember the time when like people were writing in CV, I know how to use Microsoft Word, right? So if now somebody would write that, then probably you would put them aside.
Exactly. And then this means one thing: person wants to educate himself all the time. He values his time and he's looking for a way how to be more effective. So basically, laziness is a good stuff. So why TV sets have remote control? Because some guy was too lazy to get up and go to switch the channels. Okay, I have to come up with something else to spend this time going to back and forth to TV all the time. And then the same happens here. For example, I don't know, you take a copywriter. So you take a copywriter, he can come up with creative ideas, and he should. You don't have to ask, hey, write me something creative. You can always ask, hey, here are last 5 pieces I wrote. So analyze this stuff, check like what kind of language did I use, and help me polish this idea, do the proofreading, check the grammar, stuff like that. It will just speed him up, and that's it. That's one thing. Second thing is, as I said, all the knowledge is going to be stored somewhere, and then so basically.
So it's already like the basic skill needed for the work. Like if you're not knowing how to utilize it, you're already behind. Towards then, let's do some fun questions. So what's the most time in hours you have been worked in the week? So 40 hours is the normal. And when was it?
I don't know.
Game.
300 hours most probably, yeah. So I'm in general working a lot because I love to work. That's one thing. And if you go home and you put your head on a pillow and, I don't know, watch TV series, it's still working because I'm processing the information in my head. But gaming time, I would say it was stressful. A lot of nights where even the whole team had like all-nighters, and then if you have a deadline, you have a deadline. And I recall one particular case when we had to launch the game. It turned out that we have forgotten to we have updated the tutorial in the game, and we have tutorial, some texts missing in 15 languages, and we had one night to come up with translations. There was no ChatGPT back then, so we need translations. We need someone to proofread them, and just sitting in office eating some junk food, like, what should we do? I say, okay guys, I'm gonna start hunting someone who speaks those languages in Riga, call to some universities, hey, we need a guy from this and that country. Developer is going to implement it, then someone has to proofread it. For example, Arabic. We got Arabic translations. We implemented, released it, and I called back the guy, okay, it's in, can you check it? It's like, it makes no sense because Unity went crazy because in Arabic you read from right to left, and there was like twisting some words with places and stuff like that, and that was insane. But there, yeah, we had quite a few all-nighters.
What motivates you to do the work?
What motivates me to do the work? Small and big victories. Something, especially when you do stuff like what people say, it's impossible. No one's gonna do it. The same case which we had in gaming. So before Dystopia game, we had another game, and the first time we had this idea to attract a celebrity. And my colleagues said, like, maybe we should talk to Mike Tyson. And then we were like, before we pitch anyone, we already want to have some kind of storyboard, how it's gonna look, how our dad's gonna look, what the celebrity has to do it there. And we asked one agency, hey guys, can you please draft us a couple of funny ideas how you could implement Mike Tyson? Those guys are like, guys, we are from Latvia, what Mike Tyson? bam, few years later, there's Conor McGregor, and the first idea in my mind is, let's call those guys and say, let's say we got Conor.
Did you try again? No?
No. But
Do you think you could get him?
of course.
The right answer.
Of course, yeah.
But yeah, so the difficult question, maybe not difficult. How do you fire people? How do you let them go?
You said those are going to be the fun questions.
Yeah, this is not the fun question.
So firing people is a very sensitive topic, and I'm always the one who tries to do it as gently as possible. So I believe that your employees who work at your company at this moment, they are your brand ambassadors, and so does the ones who are your former employees. So whenever we had some kind of situation where because of some kind of mismatch we have to let someone go, I try to explain, I try to get to the sense or person understands why he is not the right fit, and I know I hire him, I know what he knows, what he does, and I, as much as possible, as often as possible, I try already to make some phone calls and to understand the fit, and then so basically to offer him, okay guys.
So you don't employ Steve Jobs methods?
No.
Everybody know the stories where everybody was afraid going in elevator with Steve Jobs
because everyone gets fired there. Yeah. No. So basically, I'm trying to find a place for them to go next as much as possible. This is it's employer branding. So if people are gonna walk around, you're gonna try to hire someone and they're gonna ask a reference about the company and someone used to work there, and yeah, they just fired me, didn't explain anything. So, and I believe it was Mintos, which is a great example of culture in the company. That they had cases where person is fired. And after some time, it was done so smoothly that after some time, they had another position. The person is happy to come back, and they invite the same person, and it means something. It means that the things were done the right way.
Yeah, you don't burn bridges. So I agree on that. So let's do something more else. Do you hunt?
I do hunt people to come to work to them, but hunting as a sport. Actually, no, I never tried it. I have quite a few friends who are hunting. I have nothing against it. I could do it, but I have too many hobbies, I would say. Too many hobbies.
What other hobbies you have?
I have too many hobbies, which
hobby is the most fun?
Most fun. So I ride motorcycle. So this is something what gets my head clear when weather outside allows to ride a motorcycle. So this is something which is not only a transportation, but also gives you some kind of...
Did you drive a motorcycle now?
No. It's too cold, but today. But so basically motorcycles, yeah. Then there are wakeboarding in summer. Then, for example, so in my social circle, guys love to do a lot of crazy stuff, and we try something new, and we always like, okay, we're gonna do this more often. But the second time usually doesn't come because everyone is too busy. For example, last summer we went to Austria. One guy had a bachelor party. He said, "Guys, I want to do the Via Ferrata rock climbing. Let's do it." So let's do it. And we went there. I did the first time. I completely love it, and then it was. It was mostly, I believe, because of technique, why we were so exhausted. So we were climbing whole day in the cliffs, and then when you climb the cliff, there is a place where you can stay. There's a restaurant, couple of rooms in the first floor. We were 10 guys sleeping on second floor, and we climbed up. We went there, had a dinner, had one beer. Everyone fell asleep, and there was some kind of party of elderly people, the age of my grandparents most probably, who climbed the same route, and they were outside drinking and laughing and dancing and singing. And one of the guys said, "Would it be unpolite to open the window and ask, can you please shut up? It's a bachelor party here. We are trying to sleep." Yeah. So we were so tired. So we did this one thing. I would love to do it second time. Then I climbed the Mount Kazbek in Georgia, 5,047 meters. Would love to climb something else again. Amazing experience, but I don't know when the second time is going to come, or if it's going to come, but yeah.
Well, what is more likely, utopia or dystopia regarding AI?
Let's ask Sarah Connor about it. But I believe utopia. So it makes us more productive. The world is going to become more fast-paced, I believe, but I believe everything is going to be safe. It's going to be utopia.
Would you take a brain chip to connect you with AI?
checking the recent Elon's tweets, most probably not. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, let's see how it goes.
Which part of AI are you still skeptical about?
Still skeptical. So ethical part. There is this term trolley something.
Yeah, trolley problem.
Trolley problem, yeah. So basically, self-driving cars and trolley problem is something what I'm super skeptical about. Is so there are decisions in your life and you have to make those decisions yourself. So this trolley problem was mentioned in several books which I read, and there is a great example. You're driving a self-driving car, and there's a situation on the road. If you go straight, 100% casualty, you're dead. And if you turn the wheel, you can survive, but there's a kid. So it's not a crime, but so what do you choose? You choose to protect yourself for a greater good. And then I have no idea how you can press this to someone. So in this one book, they said that the author said like he's not buying a self-driving car as long as when you buy it, there's no checkbox like to save myself or to save people around me.
Yeah,
So
it was like for the company, it would be easier, which way. So
red or white car, yeah. You know the red ones are killers and the white ones are suicide guys.
Make an update of the car so that. But on the serious note, have you been in San Francisco driving Waymo or?
No.
I did that. It's great. Like the people are like thousands of cars without drivers, perfectly driving, not slow, really fast, really great. And Tesla FSD the same. So I think I think that would be great thing to happen. On that note, the question: robot dog or real dog?
Real dog.
Real dog.
Real dog. Yeah.
Okay. Have you seen robot dogs?
Boston Dynamics, yeah.
So they now also have the cheaper, and maybe that's another venture for us to do, right? So the robot dogs. So it's great talking to you. What's the best way to reach you?
Likewise. Thank you for having me. I try to be lately as active as possible on LinkedIn, so people can reach out to me. I'm always there, receiving notifications. So if you have any questions about anything, or you want to invite me somewhere, just drop me a line.
Yeah, advice on that. So thank you.
Thank you, Evalds.
Thank you for watching the episode of AI Ranch. As a gratitude for our work, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. See you in the next one.